lot of bonding. But to give you a sense of the experience that we all went through, please join me in welcoming columnist from Newsday, Mrs. Joy Brown.
Good evening. Never in my academic career have I ever had any teacher, classmate, professor give me a microphone. So this, Ed is over here saying that they knew better. And that may or may not have been correct. But tonight, I cannot tell you how much of an honor it is for me to earn the trust of my classmates, my peers, Paul, Nancy. You guys have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do. Also, there are lots of people in the room that we have to take care of first. These are families, funders, supporters, Malloy. I have to tell you that the first time I walked in this building, I felt very, very comfortable. It reminded me of the parishes I grew up in Washington. But I also think that we have to throw out a special thanks to the companies, the employers who let us come in here, who let us take time away from our regular working day jobs, our regular pay jobs to come in. Now, when I first came in the Energia, and it's taken me a while to figure out what Energia is. I call it Energia, so I could leave that extra E in there. And it was Greek to me, which is good because it really and truly is a Greek word. But after spending 2 years in a class, 2 years with the greatest group of people I think I've ever had a chance to hang out with in a long, long time, I think I've got this Energia thing. The root of the word is energizer, as in the Energizer Bunny. It just keeps going and going and going, and that's the idea that we have here. I mean, when you think about it, together, that kind of energy can and should be what we hope an unstoppable force as we go through and address some of the problems here on Long Island. Guys, you remember this. It all started on an overnight in Cold Spring Harbor, Lab. You remember that? I remember going into the little room. We didn't know each other. And when you think about it, it's not easy. You've got police people. You've got union people. You've got real estate people. Organizers, not-for-profit. And you got me in there with them, too. We circle around each other in that room. And we circle around each other. But the first thing, very quickly, that we came together on was this. We were not a hold hands and sing kumbaya kind of crowd. We will not hold hands and sing kumbaya. And after we agreed on that, things got a little better. In fact, it got so much better that a group of our classmates snuck off campus that night. And maybe I won't say any more about that. Next thing we know, we were together. And we actually come together every other month for a day. But over a 2-year period, let me let you in a little bit on what we saw. All right? Let me ask you a question first. How many of you have ever been on a Long Island bus? Not class people. So I thought so. We've been on a Long Island bus. So that already separates us out. The other thing is that we have actually seen hell. We've seen the flames of hell. And you may not know this, but those flames are in Norfolk. At the power plant, right? Down in an elevator you go. Out you go. And it kind of is a full circle like this, right? And in the middle there's this tube coming up. And there's a little window in it, and you open it up. And it was the coolest bit of hell I ever saw in my life. One day, we did segregation. And what fun we did not have. I will tell you, that one was tough. Look at you, you're nodding. I wish I could tell you we had a good time. We did not. And things only got better. One day we did poverty. You remember that one? Remember that one? And on this one, we came together as a group. And then we split up into 4 different groups. My group went into a community center in Roosevelt. And we spent time in our little groups, and we came back together in the afternoon. And there was one group that was a little late. This group had gone off to spend some time with a group of single moms. This group had listened to those women, working women, women trying to make a difference in their lives and trying to change their lives, trying to bring up their children against insurmountable odds, made even more insurmountable by the reality of the economics of Long Island. This group was so horrified, and I think that's the only word I could use, and if I'm wrong, just tell me, by what they saw. They stopped to have a drink before they rejoined the rest of us. And even at that, when they gave us our presentation, I will never forget one member of the group standing there, shaking. It's hard to believe that we live in a community and that some of our neighbors have to live the way we saw some of our neighbors live. We've seen that. We also, one day, confronted in real time, the apartheid system of education on Long Island. And I can say that with authority because we spent time in one school district and then went to visit another school district not a half a mile away. And I will tell you that the differences there were black and white, and I am not talking about the students. It was unbelievable what we could see in one day. Next day, we're off to North Shore at a really cool place that the CIA would empty. And we had the class of 2006 and 2007 there, and we're asking some very, very hard questions about the healthcare system. And what we all talked about after that was how honest the answers were coming back to us. That as awful as we thought things were, they really are that awful, but not in a hopeless kind of sense. One day we're off to the Suffolk County Police Academy. Oh, Sarah, where are you? I watched Sarah strap up. I watched her put on
explain that.
put on her protective gear. I watched her put on her holster. And we went through an exercise there, and I can tell you that none of us will ever take a look at a police officer out on the beach and look at them the same way again. It was unbelievable. We went to federal court in Islip. And I was sitting in the witness box by myself, a place I hope I never have to sit in real life. We also went over to the court and we sat through a graduation ceremony for alcohol and drug offenders. And I will tell you that at that graduation ceremony, there were moms and dads and kids and employers who were just as proud and just as pleased. And the spirit in that room that day was the same as the spirit in the room this day.